we'll start over here with Nathan. Give me what you consider the most important characteristic of a friend.
Trustworthy.
I was gonna say that.
Same. I was gonna say that
Aria.
too.
Oh, we're going that way? I'm gonna be like,
Yeah, I'm not gonna have any.
Oh, she looked at us.
You gotta be more, what does nice mean?
Fine.
Reliable. Reliability. You can rely on them.
Yeah, yeah.
Reliability.
Oh,
You could have picked.
I don't know.
I said nice. What's the difference between nice and kind?
Friendly. I just base my French off of until he's real life.
Again, you're picking the most important one to you.
Be loyal.
I do got my friends from like
You always want
3
your
years ago.
you always want your friends before your
Is there a difference between loyal and trust?
Yeah.
Trust you
Well,
open up to
trust
them.
is more of if I tell Tommy a secret and he doesn't tell it.
That's not
Whereas loyal is if
Trust is like
if you see them, then you beat them up.
Yeah, and loyal is more like
you
I'm
don't
not gonna
abandon
diss you.
them.
Yeah.
loyal is like telling
You guys don't have to be thinking of ones, you're picking your first one. So if you have the same one as this, you can say the same one.
Okay, good. Oh, okay.
Whatever your most important one is.
You know you're not gonna get.
And
any
yours
more
is
than-
generous?
You're gonna get like probably one. more.
generous. Tommy, give me money.
Supportive.
I didn't really know how to say it.
Just say it.
Just say it.
Not a jerk. That's.
Oh.
So
Nice.
not so nice.
Fine.
Nice.
Just fine.
Unselfish.
Unselfish.
Selfless.
Not me.
Chicken. Hot pot.
Not.
Not trustworthy.
Okay, well, since we got trust.
Trust.
Do that.
Let's go. Trust is winning.
Tommy is right here.
It's not a competition.
It's not any competition. That's how you win.
Oh, now.
Nathan, are you with us?
Dependable.
Looks like you're off on your own there with Ari too.
Dependable. Thanks, Tommy. I know I'm dependable. I was not. Yes, you were.
Is that the same as this?
Sure. I'm gonna put you back in the basement.
That's really overrated. Yeah. You can only trust one person.
Sweet. Not me. I don't really know.
Is that like this?
Whoa. I love that.
Is that
Wait till
different
I
than
get
that?
I mean,
Not mean.
sure, not mean.
Trust. Yeah, when you're
Wow. You
Wow,
got
they're winning
more than
hard.
trust.
I have.
Yeah, we don't get that a lot. Trust. Yours is
But
yours is
I'm
really
gonna
really
go
good.
trust.
Tell me, what did you say?
Wow. Okay, a lot.
Wow.
Yours.
You
Bring out
said
your logic. I have no friends.
Lucas also said it.
Oh, you take it off, Mr. Hill. Leah.
Well, it's good.
Add it to trust. Add mine to trust. Leah's.
Or do they only trust trust? So that means I'm competing against you.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2.
What do you tell me?
Okay?
You're with me, maybe.
If you're a 1, okay?
Leah's a 3.
If you're a 1,
Oh, never mind.
I'm on.
What?
What for a 1?
Are we raising our hands or are you gonna?
I'm just seeing if you're with me.
I'm like here. Oh, then you're with us. You're with me, I got progress.
If you're with me, it means your mouth isn't running.
Run.
I have 3 scripture passages, okay? If you're going to look at the scripture passage I give you, and then you're going to look at the friends or relationships Jesus had in that scripture passage. and what it tells you, okay? So if you're 1, you're looking up Luke 8, verses 1 through 3. Luke 8, 1 through 3. If you're a 2, you're looking up John 11, 1 through 5. And if you're a 3, you're looking up Acts
I like Acts.
Body spray.
16,
No, not that.
13 to 15.
If there was anything that reminds me of Roman numerals, on the Bible. 1. Even 1.
Wait, what are the satisfying?
Are you?
Are you too?
Our teammates are James. Yeah.
You're wondering.
Too far?
What? John 11. Guys, John 11's on 162.
Thank you.
In the New Testament.
No, John 11 is.
No, that's not. That's Luke.
1,577.
Yeah, that's right.
Acts is on 1:6.
No, well,
New Testament.
162 James.
What you're saying?
That's Luke.
New Testament, not Old.
1,649.
Because you got a different Bible than us. You're using this.
Oh, you have a weird Bible.
We're using this one.
Yeah, I'm on this one.
Okay. Wait, let me see.
162. That's
It's
Luke.
because they're different
Oh,
Bibles.
never mind. I found it.
Look, let me see your cover. Yeah, see, it's different.
You're going to look at the relationships.
Oh, what's the revised New Testament? That's
Lazarus is in Lazarus was chapter 11. His sister Mary. And Martha.
Why does look at the girl?
Because your mama.
I am a girl.
Because your mama. Oh, Bird is a female.
Who can tell me what this is a list of?
What we want a friend.
Characteristics.
Wants. Request.
Ideal.
We're getting closer.
Prejudice.
No, not prejudice. Wait, prejudice?
Manifest destiny.
You always say
Value.
I used to say it.
Values.
It's values for what?
A friend.
Friendship.
Friends, okay? A value is, again, what's a value?
Something that you prioritize.
So a value is anything that's important to you. So one of my goals this year is for us to look at our values. And don't play the game like, you know, we know the demons, they knew who Jesus was. Hey, this demon down here shouted out his name in the reading this morning. What should be important to us?
No, if they're
Jesus, take the
If they're good people.
Oh, if they're Christian.
no, not really. Are you just
If
gonna
they're
acknowledge-
I'm not talking
Trustworthy.
about these, I'm just saying, in general, what should be important to us?
Trust.
Yeah.
Jesus. Your relationship.
The answer is Jesus, Mr. Earl, it's always Jesus.
Yes, it's the answer to everything.
Christianity.
No, Luke.
Luke.
Wow. You guys are so trustworthy.
If I ask the question, who's the most important in your life? Everybody would say,
Jesus.
I'm saying
most people would say Jesus.
Poppy. Say Poppy.
We should have said Logan. You know we said Logan.
if you say Tom.
But the reality is, I could say in 8th grade, if they would have asked me that question, I would have said
Your dad.
Jesus. But I can tell you right now, it wasn't. He wasn't. God has since shown me how far away I was from the reality. And I've said many times, if I would have died in the 8th grade, I probably would be in hell right now. Because I was like the demon in this story, not possessing people, but basically I knew Jesus, I knew about him, but I didn't know him. And so the place we should look for in our values, okay, that's why I had to do the activity for today. The place where we should look for our values of our friends is the same place we should look for all of our values. And that is, look at Jesus' life, or the life of his followers. And that's what these scriptures do, right? So what's this one about? Who wants to tell me? Nathan, since you were wanting to talk about the Bible, tell us about what yours is about. And then Ariam will tell us about this one.
Gladly. It was already gonna be me anyways.
You didn't read it, Nathan?
Well, yeah, I tried to read it.
It's like only 3 verses. Does it talk anything about Jesus' relationships in this reading? Who had? Raise your hand if you're a 1.
I'm on one of them too.
If you don't see me, Mr. Hale. So, yes or no? Did it talk about any of his relationships in this reading?
I couldn't find it.
It was 3 verses.
Yeah.
There's no way you couldn't find a relationship.
Nathan, did
Yeah.
it talk about any of his relationships in that?
I couldn't find
Yes, it did.
What did it talk about? Okay, I'll ask you a specific question. Who traveled with Jesus?
The 12 disciples.
12 disciples. Who else?
Sean.
Disciples.
Some women who have been healed.
Followers.
Mary.
Say again. Say Tommy. What?
Some women who have been healed of evil spirits in Jesus.
So,
Mary Magdalene.
mention some women, and then are there any specific names?
Mary.
Who was called Magdalene.
Mary Magdalene,
Jonah.
Joanna,
Same thing.
Susanna.
Susanna. So 3 women named. Are the 12 disciples named?
Yes.
No, they were named earlier in Luke. Okay, what's this one? Any relationships in this one?
Yes.
Yes.
Bethany and Bethany, Lazarus. And
Bethany's a place, it's not a name. It is a name, but in this case, it's a place.
Okay, well, I guess
Bethany
we're
is-
excluding Bethany, but, Lazarus, and then, Mary and her sister, and Mary, washed the Lord's feet, Jesus. And.
Who's his sister?
The sister was,
Who's a 2?
who's it two?
Who else was a 2?
It was.
So we got Lazarus, Mary, and who?
Mary's sister. Martha.
Martha.
Oh, Sierra.
Previous knowledge, you should have known Mary's sister was Martha. Okay?
And then the steward, Martha.
Acts.
Bodies.
Who's in this one? Bethel.
It's about they're traveling.
Who's traveling?
Yeah, who?
A woman named Linda.
Lydia.
Lydia. Yeah, why did I say Linda? Lydia. A dealer in a purple cloth from the city Tyria.
Why would they put
I don't know.
dealer in purple cloth? Why is that a big deal?
Wow. Okay.
That's true.
And maybe a Rick.
Why would they put dealer in purple cloth?
Steals the good stuff.
Why would you include that?
So,
What's that tell about her right away?
She's
she's
a
a
stealer.
dealer.
She likes purple.
See, we have to
Good
put
stuff.
again, we have to understand the context of ancient times.
She deals the good stuff.
Purple cloth, who wore purple?
The rich.
These
The
is-
rich, wealthy.
Bam, bam.
If you were dealing, if you were trading purple cloth, you were what?
Rich.
You were wealthy. She was a wealthy lady.
Look at this cool picture.
She dealt the good stuff.
Okay, and Sam brings up the most important point.
Let's take that.
Okay? We have to understand the time of Jesus. In the time of Jesus, what were women for?
Baby.
Baby carrier.
And
Baby.
cleaning.
1, wives.
Cleaning.
Cooking,
2, servants.
Oh, that's
3, what?
cooking.
baby havers.
Wow. Repopulate. the
Sexual
nation.
immorality.
Okay.
What was that for?
I'm just speaking facts.
And even in certain Middle Eastern states today, when we study the Middle East, we're going to find out that, like my daughter-in-law, her sister's going to Morocco, and she's talking about going on a trip to Morocco, but
Be safe.
as a woman going into Morocco, as an American woman, it's totally different.
Why?
You're not even allowed to be out on the street unless you have what?
Oh, man.
A man accompanying you.
You need a man to go out with you.
Okay?
Wow. Wow.
So there are still some Middle Eastern countries today
Let's change that.
that have some of the same cultural rules that Jesus' time had. So in Jesus' time, that's the way it was. So if a woman was out in public,
She gets the stone.
okay, with a man that wasn't a relative, that meant she was what? She was immoral. She was a prostitute.
Ah!
If she is not of the meneth, she belongeth to the
Okay.
stoneth.
That's why when we see about these relationships, it's important to understand that. So in each case, in each of these readings, there's what?
Yeah, what are the 12 disciples?
Anatomy.
Relations.
There's men and women. If Jesus was following, like in this first one, okay, you had the 12 apostles, then you had who?
Mary.
The 3 women that were named. Okay, if Jesus was following the cultural norms, those women,
Would be killed.
he would have sent them away.
Bro, Jesus.
Why?
Because they're prostitutes.
They weren't following Jesus to be a prostitute here. One of them had been, and she what?
She became a saint.
She repented and gave her life to God, and that's why she was following Jesus around. But if Jesus was concerned about the cultural norms, he would have what?
Set them away.
He sent them away.
Yeah, but Jesus.
He says, don't hang around here because everybody's gonna what?
Think you're a prostitute.
Everybody's gonna think that all of my guys here are being impure.
Just set
But he
them
didn't send them away. Okay? If Jesus was following the cultural norms here, Lazarus, he would have only been friends with who?
Only Lazarus. and
Only
then
Lazarus. Mary and Martha, they should have only been what?
Servants.
Serving him.
slaves.
Here, Paul and the other missionaries that are on the road here, when they met Lydia, they would have what?
Pushing her away.
They would have sent her away.
The streets.
This was the status of women in that time. So a lot of stories that we could have the story of Jesus went to the well and there was a woman there getting water. If he's following the cultural norms, he should have what?
Move out of my way.
He should have sent her away. You can't be around me because I'm the man here.
Oh.
If everybody sees us relating, what?
Arrested.
Okay, they're gonna think it's an immoral situation. So Jesus is throwing the cultural values where?
To the trash.
He's throwing them out the window. They're in the trash. This is not how Jesus operates.
Jesus is built.
So we have to look at Jesus' life
He kind of built the world.
for our own
Different.
values. We don't look at what the world says. So I notice up here on our list, not one of you guys put the same sex. That's the most important. My friend has to be the same sex as me.
I don't care.
No. Not really.
It doesn't matter to me because I play games, so I won't get involved in everything.
How many of you in here, your closest friend is a person of the opposite sex?
Tommy, what are you?
Well, she doesn't know.
I think Tommy's not
Yeah, Tommy,
mine.
I don't
Zach
know.
knows.
Literally,
We're
I don't
best
have pro.
No, I'm not friends with
Tommy,
you
I-
guys.
See, already,
Tommy, aren't you a
already
washer?
you guys are giving me the cultural things that are happening.
Tommy, aren't you a washer?
That tend to happen.
Oh yeah, so no.
The cultural things today says if I'm really close friends with somebody of the opposite sex, that means what?
Where?
Romantic dating.
That means we have to be romantically involved.
Oh sweet Tommy. No, get away from me.
I just want to try to hang around guys.
Ariel.
And we do this to other people. I can tell you, I missed out on many friendships. Because growing up, that was my mentality.
Well, Mr. Hill.
The cultural mentality was a girl was only for a possible date, not a friend. And so if she wasn't a possible date, then I don't need to get to know her.
Dang, Mr. Hill ain't no
And people did disservices to people, and I still struggle with that because of that cultural thing. So if my son brings home a girl that he's a friends with, what's in my mind?
He's dating.
There's some kind of romantic thing going on here. That's a distorted view of what God says about friendships. None of these things that you guys put as most important have anything to do with your sex.
No.
So whether I'm a friend with a girl or a boy shouldn't have anything to do. But the culture says if I become too close of friends with somebody, then I'm going to have pressure put on me. That's why people don't. And you miss out on friendships. You miss out on friendships because, well, there's a couple of things. One, if I have this friendship, then the rest, everybody else is going to think and they're going to be teasing me, and I just don't want that hassle. The other is that person might develop feelings for me, and I want it to just be what? A friendship.
I mean, I know pretty good.
And they have a romance type of thing in their mind. But if we go to Jesus, those things should not be mattered. The culture shouldn't be dictating to me the values. A person of the opposite sex could make me a better Christian. Many of you, when you did your friendship survey, the ones that did do it, said, well, a lot of my friends are different than me. And the advantage of that is then I'm challenged in making me think in ways I wouldn't normally think. Or try different activities I wouldn't normally try. Okay? But those are friendships. The other thing we said all the way along, okay, and why Jesus had such strong friendships, and this is the example here, like in this one, what happened because the missionaries did not follow the cultural norms? What happened to Lydia?
They got
Who read this one?
the Stonometron 9,000.
Who did number 3?
I did.
What happened to Lydia?
They call it.
You got stoned to the bone.
That's
She gets sent to prison.
And Ron.
What's it say?
And she became a true believer in the Lord.
And who else?
Tommy became a
She was baptized.
And who else? Her entire household.
Oh, yeah.
Why would they do that?
Her entire household was baptized.
Because they can. You got a problem with it?
So because Jesus refused her, this person, he saved this person's life and their whole household. Because he refused to go what the culture said. When we take a stand, when we follow Jesus' values instead of our own values, that's what can happen. So the whole point here is, one, don't limit your friendships because of culture. Two, stop putting pressure on people that have perfectly healthy friendships with somebody of the opposite sex. You put pressure on them that a friend should never do what? The only thing your friend should pressure you is to do what? Become closer to God. That's the only pressure your friend should ever put on you. Okay? And we said true friendship, what's the word for that?
True friendship is.
One of the wheels, or spokes.
Fellowship.
Fellowship.
I said first.
This is true
Enemies.
friendship. And again, you don't get there without a what?
Enemy.
A relationship with God. Sorry.
You gotta take a risk for a friendship to grow.
Yep.